In the tea industry, tea leaf grading is the process of evaluating products based on the quality and condition of the tea leaves themselves. The highest grades are referred to as orange Pekoe, and the lowest as Fannings, or dust. Pekoe tea grades are classified into various qualities, each determined by how many of the adjacent young leaves were picked along with the leaf buds. Top quality Pekoe grades consist of only the leaf buds, which are picked using the balls of the fingertips. Fingernails and mechanical tools are not used to avoid bruising. When crushed to make bag teas, the tea is referred to as broken, as in broken orange Pekoe. These lower grades include Fannings and dust, which are tiny remnants created in the sorting and crushing processes. Orange Pekoe is referred to as OP. The grading scheme also contains categories higher than OP, which are determined primarily by leaf wholeness and size. Broken, Fannings and dust orthodox teas have slightly different grades. CTC teas, which consist of leaves mechanically rendered to uniform Fannings, have yet another grading system. Manufacture and grades. Orange Pekoe . Orange Pekoe, also spelled Pekoe, or OP, is a term used in the Western tea trade to describe a particular genre of black teas. Despite a purported Chinese origin, these grading terms are typically used for teas from Sri Lanka, India and countries other than China. They are not generally known within Chinese-speaking countries. The grading system is based upon the size of processed and dried black tea leaves. The tea industry uses the term orange Pekoe to describe a basic, medium-grade black tea consisting of many whole tea leaves of a specific size. However, it is popular in some regions to use the term as a description of any generic black tea. Within this system, the teas that receive the highest grades are obtained from new flushes. This includes the terminal leaf bud along with a few of the youngest leaves. Grading is based on the size of the individual leaves and flushes, which is determined by their ability to fall through the screens of special meshes ranging from A to 30 mesh. This also determines the wholeness, or level of breakage, of each leaf, which is also part of the grading system. Although these are not the only factors used to determine quality, the size and wholeness of the leaves will have the greatest influence on the taste, clarity, and brewing time of the tea. When used outside the context of black tea grading, the term Pekoe describes the unopened terminal leaf bud in tea flushes. As such, the phrases a bud and a leaf, or a bud and two leaves are used to describe the leafiness of a flush. They are also used interchangeably with Pekoe and a leaf or Pekoe and two leaves. Etymology. The origin of the word Pekoe is uncertain. One explanation is it is derived from the transliterated mispronunciation of the Amoy dialect word for a Chinese tea known as white downhair. This is how Pekoe is listed by Reverend Robert Morrison in his Chinese dictionary as one of the 7 sorts of black tea commonly known by Europeans. This refers to the down-like white hairs on the leaf and also to the youngest leaf buds. Another hypothesis is that the term derives from the Chinese Baijiawa white flower, and refers to the bud content of Pekoe tea. Sir Thomas Lipton, the 19th-century British tea magnate, is widely credited with popularising, if not inventing, the term orange Pekoe, which seems to have no Chinese precedents, for Western markets. The orange in orange Pekoe is sometimes mistaken to mean the tea has been flavoured with orange, orange oils, or is otherwise associated with oranges. However, the word orange is unrelated to the tea's flavour. There are 2 explanations for its meaning, though neither is definitive. The Dutch House of Orange-Nassau, now the royal family, was already the most respected aristocratic family in the days of the Dutch Republic, and came to control the de facto head of state position of stayholder of Holland and Zeeland. The Dutch East India Company performed a central role in bringing tea to Europe and may have marketed the tea as orange to suggest association with the House of Orange. Color: the copper color of a high-quality, oxidized leaf before drying, or the final bright orange color of the dried Pekoes in the finished tea may be related to the name. These usually consist of 1 leaf bud and 2 leaves covered in fine, downy hair. The orange color is produced when the tea is fully oxidized. Fannings Fannings are small pieces of tea that are left over after higher grades of teas are gathered to be sold. Traditionally these were treated as the rejects of the manufacturing process in making high-quality leaf tea like the orange Pekoe. Fannings with extremely small particles are sometimes called dusts. Fannings and dusts are considered the lowest grades of tea, separated from broken leaf teas which have larger pieces of the leaves. However, the fannings of expensive teas can still be more expensive and more flavorful than whole leaves of cheaper teas. This traditionally low-quality tea has however experienced a huge demand in the developing world in the last century as the practice of tea drinking became popular. Tea stalls in India and the South Asian subcontinent, and Africa prefer dust tea because it is cheap and also produces a very strong brew, consequently more cups are obtained per measure of tea dust. Because of the small size of the particles, a tea infuser is typically used to brew fannings. Fannings are also typically used in most tea bags, although some companies sell tea bags containing whole leaf tea. Some exporters focus primarily on broken leaf teas, fannings, and dusts. Grade terminology choppy contains many leaves of various sizes. Fannings are small particles of tea leaves used almost exclusively in tea bags. Flowery consists of large leaves, typically plucked in the second or third flush with an abundance of tips. Golden flowery includes very young tips or buds that were picked early in the season. Tippy includes an abundance of tips. Whole leaf grades the grades for whole leaf orthodox black tea are Ceylon orange Pekoe grades, OP1 a slightly delicate, long, wiry leaf with a light liquor, upper bold, long leaf tea which ranges from tightly wound to almost open, OPA main grade, in the middle between OP1 and OPA, can consist of long wiry leaf without tips, OP Suferira primarily from Indonesia, similar to OP, flowery OPA high quality tea with a long leaf and few tips, considered the second grade in Assam, Dus, and Bangladesh teas, but the first grade. In China FOP1 a is above, but with only the highest quality leaves in the FOP classification, golden flowery OP1 a higher proportion of tip than FOP top grade in Malima and Maritime regions, uncommon in Assam and Darjeeling, tippy golden FOP the highest proportion of tip, main grade in Darjeeling and Assam, TGFOP1 a is above, but with only the highest quality leaves in the TGFOP classification, finest TGFOP highest quality grade, often hand-processed and produced at only the best plantations, roughly 1/4 tips, SFTGFOP. 1, a sometimes used to indicate the very finest, a joked among tea aficionados is that FTGFOP stands for far too good for ordinary people. Broken leaf grades BTA broken tea, usually a black, open, fleshy leaf that is very bulky. Classification used in Sumatra, Ceylon, Sri Lanka, and some parts of southern India. BPA broken Pekoe, most common broken Pekoe grade. From Indonesia, Ceylon, Sri Lanka, Assam and southern India. BPSA broken Pekoe Suchong, term for broken Pekoe in Assam and Darjeeling. FPA flowery Pekoe, high quality Pekoe. Usually coarser with a fleshier, broken leaf. Produced in Ceylon, Sri Lanka, and southern India, as well as in some parts of Kenya. BOPA broken orange Pekoe, main broken grade. Prevalent in Assam, Ceylon, Sri Lanka, southern India, Java, and China. FBOPA flowery broken orange Pekoe, coarser and broken with some tips. From Assam, Ceylon, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, China, and Bangladesh. In South America coarser, black broken. FBOP finest broken orange Pekoe flowery, the finest broken orange Pekoe. Higher proportion of tips. Mainly from Ceylon's low districts. GBOPA golden broken orange Pekoe, second grade tea with uneven leaves and few tips. GFBOP1 golden flowery broken orange Pekoe 1, as above, but with only the highest quality leaves in the GFBOP classification. TGFBOP1 tippy golden flowery broken orange Pekoe 1, high quality leaves with a high proportion of tips. finest broken first-grade leaves in Darjeeling and some parts of Assam. Fannings grades fair Pekoe Fannings, offer orange Fannings, from northern India and some parts of Africa and South America. Foffer flowery orange Fannings, common in Assam, Dus, and Bangladesh. Some leaf sizes come close to the smaller broken grades. Gffer golden flowery orange Fannings, finest grade in Darjeeling for tea bag production. TGFOFA Tippy golden flowery orange Fannings. Bepair broken orange Pekoe Fannings, main grade in Sri Lanka, Indonesia, southern India, Kenya, Mozambique, Bangladesh, and China. Black leaf tea with few added ingredients, uniform particle size, and no tips. Dust grades D1 Dust 1, from Sri Lanka, Indonesia, China, Africa, South America, and southern India. PDA Pekoe Dust, PD1 Pekoe Dust 1, mainly produced in India. Other terms Musca Muscatel, CL clonal, CH China varietal, Kawa Queen Jat, FBOPFX. SPL flowery broken orange Pekoe Fannings, FPA flowery Pekoe, Za Pekoe Suchong, Za Suchong, Boffer broken orange Fannings, BPFA broken Pekoe Fannings, RDA Pekoe Dust red dust, FDA fine dust, DA golden dust, STA super red dust, SFDA super fine dust, BMFA broken mixed Fannings. See also: Food grading, ISO 3103, a standardized method of tea brewing used to compare tea leaf flavor and aroma characteristics, Maofeng, an equivalent tea term in China, tea blending and additives. References: General, Tea in Production. Plain Tea retrieved November 15, 2006.